This happened to me recently. I'm an 18-year-old female still living at home with my mom, soon to finish my senior year of high school. On the night this happened, I was actually supposed to be out of town with my mom. She's a real estate agent and agreed to help out a colleague by doing an open house for him on Saturday morning. This house was an hour and a half away from us. My mom thought it would be fun for the both of us to go up on Friday, explore the area a little bit, stay there for the night. She said it would be a fun little getaway, and she could get an early start on setting up for the open house. I agreed to go. My mom became so excited for this. She mentioned to me how she told all the people at the office that her daughter was coming with her, staying the night and helping her set up. Now this is the part where I feel the most guilt and regret. The day we were supposed to leave, I didn't feel like going. I love my mom and all, but once I start to really think about it, it probably wasn't going to be all that fun. What the hell was I even supposed to do once the open house started? So I lied and said I wasn't feeling good. I felt so bad lying, I actually started to feel sick for real. My body was probably feeling physically ill, just so my head wouldn't feel guilt. My mom reluctantly left me to be. She wanted to stay, but she had a job to do. Even though I was home alone on a Friday night, I just stayed in and watched Netflix. Around 9 p.m. or so, I was in the mood for some candy, and the convenience store is about a half a mile from my house, so I pulled the car out from the garage and left. After getting some Mike and Ike's, I came home to my garage door being open. Now, every single time that I would leave the house, I closed the garage door without even thinking about it, so I know for sure that I hit the button. But in the past, there has been a couple occasions that the door malfunctions on its way down, reverses, and goes back up. I have no idea why this happens. It's only happened about 4 times in my 3 years of driving, so I told myself this must be the 5th time then. I went back inside and sat on the couch watching my movie. No later than 1 minute after pressing play, I heard a creaky noise coming from right up above me. Above me on the 2nd floor is my mom's room. Because of how old the house and floors are, whenever I'm in the living room, I can hear my mom walking around in her bedroom. I paused the TV just so I could be absolutely sure that I must be hearing things. 5 seconds pass. Nothing. 10 seconds pass. Nothing. About 20 seconds in, right before I press play, a slow creaking footstep. The sound of a footstep that is trying not to make any noise. My heart now pounding. My body not budging. All senses heightened. I'm listening closely. I now hear the bedroom door open. Whoever it is soon to be on their way downstairs. I have nowhere to hide except for the 2-foot space behind the couch that covers the entire back wall. I'm completely squished up between the couch and the wall, trying to desperately quiet my breathing. I now hear another creaking footstep. Whoever it is now on the 7th step of the staircase. I know exactly which step it is because it's the same step I skip when it's late and I'm trying not to wake up my mom. Luckily for me, when I hid behind the couch, I had my phone in hand. As the intruder is coming downstairs, I dial 911 and immediately mute it. I don't want to give away my position. I won't be able to say anything to the operator. I just hope they trace the call and send the police. In the meantime, the intruder makes their way all the way down the stairs and goes into the kitchen, opens the fridge, and I hear the opening of a soda can. Footsteps now make their way over to the couch. The man now sits down on the couch. I know it's a man because he sat right where the sectional comes together, which is exactly where I am. I can see him between a tiny crack where the couch isn't perfectly connected. This man has no idea I'm 1 couch cushion away from him. If I make any sound at this moment, I'm caught, and who knows what he'll do to me. I now hear the man talk to himself. He says in a muffled, almost grunting sounding voice, "She doesn't deserve this." I have no idea what this means. And then he screams at the top of his lungs and throws the soda can across the room. I'm frightened and weirded out at this point. I have no idea this man's intentions for breaking into my house. I'm actually confused. As he starts walking away, heading towards the laundry room, I feel there is enough distance between us that I can now whisper to the 911 operator what is going on. Tell her my address in case they haven't already traced the call. 3 minutes later, I hear sirens. The man shuffled out towards the back of the house. Once the back door shuts, I jumped out from behind the couch, opened the front door, and saw 2 cop cars with the lights flashing. I made eye contact with one of the officers. Said he ran towards the back. Both officers sprinted with flashlights on. I waited standing next to the cop car. 5 minutes later, the officers are escorting a man, handcuffed, and put him in the back seat. I was really surprised when I got a good look at this man. He was dressed really nice. An expensive-looking button-up, nice slacks, and dress shoes. Definitely not a typical burglar attire. I called my mom, bawling my eyes out. She immediately came home. I stayed on the phone with her the entire drive. I hugged her so tight. I think I could have been dead if he found me. The police and I went through the house and didn't notice anything stolen. They also told my mom and I the name of the intruder. When they did, I never heard of the name, but my mom's face turned white. She knew exactly who it was. It was the real estate agent that she was doing the open house for. Trying to put all the puzzle pieces together, he knew my mom would be out of town and also thought I would be gone with her because she told everyone at the office. He must have been hiding nearby and waiting for us to leave, not knowing my mom had already left. And when I left to go get candy, he thought it was both of us gone for the night and snuck in the garage just before the door closed. As I'm driving away, not paying attention. As to what his intentions were, we will never know. But based on what I heard him say, he sounded jealous, bitter, and angry. He obviously was fired, and we have a no contact order on him. The moral of this story is, I never should have lied and said I was sick. Sorry, Mom. I'm an only child, and when I was 15, both my parents decided to go out of town for the night. It was the first time they had done this because they only now felt comfortable leaving me home alone for the night. I was really excited once they left. I would be able to do exactly what I want, stay up late, and nobody to tell me what to do. Unfortunately, it was a school night, so I didn't throw a party or anything crazy like that. My plan was to eat some junk food, play video games, and watch a movie or two. A little after midnight or so, I was watching Pulp Fiction, half asleep, downstairs in the TV room with my dog Molly. She's a medium-sized border collie with a calm demeanor. I was about to put Molly in her kennel and head upstairs for bed when suddenly her ears perked up, stared through the sliding glass door, and started growling. This was unusual behavior for her, so I got up to take a look myself. I scanned the backyard, looking left and right. It was a small backyard, and I didn't see anything. Didn't think much about it and started getting ready for bed. Usually I put Molly in her kennel and put a door blocker in front of her doggy door. It doesn't lock or anything, it's just to prevent some of the cold air from getting in. But on this night I decided not to put her in her kennel and let her roam around the room when the doggy door is attached to the sliding glass door. I brushed my teeth and immediately fell asleep in my bed upstairs. No later than a half hour after that, I heard Molly all the way downstairs barking and growling like I've never heard before. Because of that, I knew for sure something was going on. On my way downstairs to check it out, I heard the doggy door open and close really fast, and now the barking is coming from outside. I go to the TV room, open the sliding glass door, to see Molly at the edge of the fence in the backyard barking at something. I still don't see anything or anybody. I'm standing inside the house telling Molly to stop barking and waking up the neighbors. Right in front of the doggy door, next to my foot, there is a pocket knife on the ground. This made my heart drop, because it was a pocket knife I've never seen before, and definitely wasn't there when I went to bed. Now, even though I never actually saw an intruder breaking into my home with the knife, I called the police anyway. When the police arrived, I started telling them what happened, and incredibly, as I'm giving my statement, they get radioed to a house a couple streets over. The police abruptly left and said they would be back. About 2 hours later, one of the officers from before came back to my house, and I continued to give my statement. When I mentioned it was my dog that alerted me of a possible intruder, his head cocked back and eyes widened. He asked me if my dog might have bit this guy. I said probably not because Molly never bit anyone before, but I don't know for sure. The officer tells me they arrested a man breaking inside of a nearby home, and when they took him in, it appeared he had multiple fresh bites on his arms and legs and bleeding pretty bad. I couldn't believe it. It must have been Molly. I'm shocked because I didn't think she had it in her. She must have started attacking this guy while crawling through the doggy door, and as he's getting bit, decides to run and in the process drops his pocket knife. An armed man breaking into my house while I'm sleeping. I easily could be dead if it wasn't for my dog. About a month later, the same officer that took my statement dropped by my house and gave me a little update. The man they arrested actually confessed to breaking into my home and admitted to having the pocket knife. The officer said this was a big deal because since he was unarmed while breaking into the other house, the charges were not as serious. But now admitting to being armed with a weapon, the officer said he most likely will do a number of years. I felt both incredibly relieved and grateful. Grateful for Molly saving my life. Needless to say, she's ate a lot of steak since then.